Good morning. My name's Elizabeth Swayze, and I'm an Agile coach, and I was previously a sustainability manager for over 10 years. So you can only imagine that yesterday, when we had the panel discussion and all of the presentations on sustainability, and especially the interconnection and nexus between sustainability and Agile, I was so happy. I was super thrilled. And there was actually, at the very end of the panel discussion, a really great question from Pia. And I took note of it. I was at the edge of my seat. And she had said, without mandate, how do you go about making change? And I thought this is just a brilliant question and deserves so much space. Because even though I've been really lucky to be in positions where I had budget and a title and mandate, there's a lot of people who want to work with sustainability wherever you are. Whether that be environmental, social, or want to work with diversity and inclusion. And how do you go about that? So I thought to myself, okay, well, when has it worked? When have I been lacking budget or lacking mandate? And when have we been able to make change? And I thought about my very, very favorite project ever, together with Aidan Gray, who's in the back today. And what we wanted to do was identify, we were working at a fashion company with e-commerce. We wanted to identify, we have these beautiful organic garments, and we have customers who are demanding sustainable garments. What happens? Are they finding the garments that we are offering them? So we did what was called at the time like growth hacking. And what we wanted to see was, how are the customers navigating on site? What search words are they using? Do we need a sub-page, a filter? How are they navigating on the app? We were really curious, are the customer demand meeting these organic, beautiful, sustainable garments that we have? Because if not, it's a huge gap in opportunity. So I want to share with you today 4 tips on how you can incorporate this type of work wherever you are. If you lack mandate, if you lack the title, if you lack budget, what can you do? So the 4 things are, the first one, what we did was we formulated our question in connection with business value. So with the example I took, there was a clear business value. If we can make sure the customer can find the organic garments, it's a win-win. And then from a sustainability perspective, of course, the more organic garments and the higher demand, the more we can work internally on those topics. So yeah, step 1, formulate your question in a business perspective. What and how will it benefit the business where you are exactly now? And number 2 is gather your people. I think Aidan and I, we found generous, smart people within their different expertise who were willing to give us time during their lunch break. People who knew about CEO, UX designers. We had people who were in marketing who could create banners so we can test things out. We just got our tribe together of people who believed in the idea. And then lastly, test. And make sure that, as long as it's reversible, just try it. Try it. You don't need to wait for everyone to be on board. Try it, find the results, and then present them to the company. Good luck.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for this fantastic conference. I was reminded, listening to many of you yesterday's, about the similarities between Agile and improvisation theater. And for those of you who don't know what improv is, we can contrast it to traditional theater, or what I like to call waterfall theater, where you first start to gather requirements into a long requirements document, usually called a script. And then after that script is finished, the developers start implementing in a rehearsal period. At the very end of that rehearsal period, there is a user testing session, usually, called a dress rehearsal, where the directors and the actors get some actual feedback from actual users, which is one day before starting on actually having the release date of their project. And improvisation theater works in a different way, where we do a lot of practice, but then the product is actually developed together with the customer or the audience, where so the usual setting is that improvisation theater, we ask the audience to tell us what their problems are or what they want to listen to at that very moment. And then having very short feedback loops, developing a product together with the customer in the moment. And in order to do that, we have to practice a lot as actors, because that is really hard to be able to, in 1 hour, just delivering a good product without the set of requirements. And some of those practice have actually helped me a lot, becoming more agile and becoming a better software developer. So those rules that maybe some of you will be able to use in your daily lives as well. Number 1 for improv theater is yes and. And that does not go against saying no to things, which is very important. We talked a lot about saying no yesterday. But saying yes, meaning saying yes to your partner on stage and accepting that worldview of your partner. Whatever they say is something that goes, and you have to continue on that. Second rule of improvisation theater is there are no mistakes. Whatever happened on stage is what happened on stage, and if a mistake actually happened, that's usually where the gold is and what makes the scene really, really great. So we practice actually to celebrate mistakes, and that is an awesome experience. Being on stage, lots of audience, feeling nervous, doing something stupid, saying the wrong words, and everyone is applauding that mistake. And that's something that I think we should take into our work life as well. Rule number 2, make your partner look good. Never put them in a spot where they can't handle a situation. Always give them the setup where they can perform really well. And thank you so much.
All right. I've learned that you're supposed to do physical things. So can we start by who wants to do right? Can we raise our hands? Who wants to do the right thing? Who wants to do the good thing, the correct thing? Good, good. So most people. If you had like friends or people next to you that didn't raise their hand now, there will be opportunity to switch seats later, right? Good. I'm Marcus. I'm a Scrum Master at a company who has a surprisingly similar graphical profile to Agila Sverige that's called Haiku. So if I'm here with a pink shirt next time, I promise it's not to steal the show. I want to talk a little bit about right and wrong, a little bit about who gets to decide what's right and what's wrong. And my fiance, she's new at her job. She starts every morning and say, I just want to do the right thing. I want to go to work. I want to do the thing that is correct, right? And we get into this discussion a lot with, well, who gets to define your right thing? So the next thing to then raise our hands on is, who knows what the definition of right for them is? Who's comfortable saying, yeah, when I do the right thing, I know what that thing is? Some of us. Not most of us then wants to do right things. Most of us seemingly don't know where the right thing comes from. And that's then where we get into this show. we get into Agile, right? Normally, we have stakeholders for our products. We will have a PO, though I wouldn't get a PO for defining right for you. That's probably not useful. But I want you to kind of visit, whenever you say, I want to do the right thing, I want to do the correct thing, I want to do the speedy thing, kind of take a step back, much as when you get a problem or you get someone to say, I want you to do this. Well, who gets to define that I want to do this? Why is this thing right? And perhaps more importantly, a lot of people, I'm very happy, joined me in Anti-Agile Behaviors, which is the board of nightmares over there. Kind of visit, what is it that made these things right then? And then look back to yourself 5 years ago. When you did the right thing 5 years ago, why was that the right thing then? I think a lot of the time we get stuck in this right and wrong, both in work and in life. But kind of, I know this is a heavy subject for morning, but kind of revisit and say, okay, so if it's not about right or wrong, if it's about rather which step am I taking that's teaching me if this is the correct way to go, and then who prompted me to take this step? Is it family members? Is it friends? Is it someone on social media? Is it someone on social media you probably shouldn't listen to? Is it just yourself, your books, meditation? I know we'll have a workshop on that later. Focus perhaps more on, rather than waking up and saying, I should do the right thing today, say, I'm going to do the right thing. Who got to tell me that this was the right thing today? One step at a time, not a glorious horizon. It's kind of preaching to the choir, right? That's all I wanted to say.
Courageous people, they do this, huh? Step on a stage, raise their hand, their voice, speak their opinion, do things that others dare not to. But is it so, really? Is it only courage that make me want to stand here in front of you guys? Can you see my hands trembling? Oh, this is scary as hell. I've actually never done this before. Some people might be surprised. Linda, you can always tell when Linda steps into a room. She takes up a lot of space and she has always some opinion to share with people. Yeah, maybe I do. But the other side of that truth is the vulnerability. To dare to do something, to be vulnerable, to be present, and to show that, that's scary. That's more scary than doing this. So, I couldn't resist myself. I needed to do this. I needed to be here. And to tell you that all these courageous people, they aren't that courageous. They aren't that different from all of you here. We are all vulnerable. We all are afraid of making ourselves as a fool in front of anyone, to be the outcast. But you know what? If we could be more present, and if we could show more of our vulnerability, there is no end to what the creativity power might be. To create those environments where people actually dare to be vulnerable, to be present. I think we need more of that. More of those people that actually dare to say, I think this is scary as hell, and I have no clue of what I'm going to talk about. Fact is, I didn't know that. I just had a plan, or sort of. I wanted to share with you that all these people that you seem, they are courageous, they dare to do things that you don't. They are as vulnerable as you are. And if you can do some mistakes, or just dare to speak up, and also show your trembling hands, maybe they do too. And now I don't have a plan anymore. So what's happening then?